Steven. Jack Maulers is out here dropping the mic with Bitcoin will 200x. When you hear a prediction that bold, do you see it as useful aspiration for the Bitcoin community, or does it risk being more hype than help? What do you think?
I love it. I love Jack, pushing the boundary, getting people thinking about where the ceiling on this asset could be. And it's really difficult for us to do, right? Most of us just look naturally at the past and at the ticker price when we're trying to figure out what Bitcoin's capable of. And so we see $113,000 Bitcoin today. All-time high was somewhere near 130,000. So it going higher than that seems hard for us. We've just never been in that territory before. But what I love
Right.
about the way that Jack's putting it with 100x, 200x, and his reasons why, where he cites the various asset classes that he sees Bitcoin positioned to take market share from, what that really gets at and gets everyone thinking around is from first principles, what can Bitcoin do? And let's think about it not just the sticker price, but really the market capitalization. And so not just $113,000 sticker price on Bitcoin, but $2 trillion asset class today, roughly. And 2 trillion sounds like a big number until you look around at global wealth and you look at all of these other asset classes and you see a $300 trillion real estate market and a $250 trillion bond market. And even gold is a $20 trillion asset class, roughly, today, in terms of above ground gold. And so, one exercise that I love is let's just try to take the most bearish case possible for Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin never eats payments, it never becomes ubiquitous for that. We're never listing the prices of items in stores in Bitcoin, it's never a unit of account. It's just a store of value. And maybe it doesn't take any market share from real estate or from bonds. Maybe it just eats gold. Maybe Bitcoin is just a better gold. That's about as conservative of a future as I can imagine for Bitcoin. And even
Mhm.
that future, $2 trillion asset class today to a $20 trillion asset class, which is gold today, that's a 10x from where we're at right now in terms of market capitalization. That's, $1 million Bitcoin, roughly, just by being a better gold and nothing else. And I don't think it's just a better gold. I think it is on the order of 100x, 200x, in line with what Jack's saying. So it's great to see.
Yeah, it certainly seems like there is a lot of room for Bitcoin to run, considering all the things that we're seeing on the horizon here. And Mahler's, in fact, compared Bitcoin to massive savings markets like real estate, you mentioned gold, and even fine art. So, from your vantage point, Stephen, how realistic is it for Bitcoin to capture that kind of global wealth? You mentioned the bear case, but bullish case, I mean, 100, 200x, do you really think that's possible?
Absolutely think it's possible and within our lifetimes. I think it could happen in a time frame that would actually surprise many people because if you look at the history of big innovations and especially systems that rely on strong network effects, you've got communications technologies like, the telegraph and the radio and the television and then the internet and then social media. And there's a great chart that kind of lays this out that makes the rounds on social media from time to time. But the adoption curve of each of those gets increasingly steep. And so, it took a while for the telegraph to go mainstream and to really impact the world. And it didn't take nearly as long for the internet to be picked up. And it didn't take nearly as long as the internet for social media and platforms like Facebook and X to really pick up. And it's because we have once you have the internet to talk about new innovations, then they can spread more quickly. And so I think the positioning that Bitcoin has, where we already have hyper connected communications globally to share information about this, and there are no gatekeepers. Anyone can buy Bitcoin. It is censorship resistant and it is unseizable once you have it. Those ingredients in an asset, I think, are a recipe for it to surprise a lot of people in terms of how quickly it could get into millions of dollars and tens of millions of dollars per Bitcoin. So it's not really an innovation that will happen at the rate at which regulators and governments believe is okay. They can influence it. They can maybe slow it down. They can speed it up. Maybe Donald Trump will do one of those two things today when he says something. Who knows? But they, they can't really change the end state. And if one government chooses not to do it, another can. And so the game theory can get pretty wild.